Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cavletics, an inside look into the athletics department here at Bossier Parish Community College. I'm your host, Charlie Cavell, and we've got a great show for you today. This is, this is one of my favorite times of the year. It's that time of the year in October when baseball and football and basketball all come together. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, and that's baseball. More specifically, Bipsy Cavaliers baseball with Bipsy head coach Bobby Gillum. Bobby, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedule.
Glad to be here.
Before we jump into talking about Cavalier baseball, let's talk briefly about some Major League Baseball. Wow, what an exciting time. I mean, being a St. Louis Cardinals fan, I was thrilled to say the least about the Cardinals' eruption of 10 runs the other day against the Braves, but boy, what an exciting time. I mean, there's just nothing like playoff baseball.
Right. Yeah, I haven't got to see as much as I wanted. We've been playing and traveling, but I did get to watch Kershaw give up those home runs, and Nationals beat them, and yeah, your Cardinals, I think that was a postseason record for most runs in an inning the other day.
I mean, you know, the Dodgers with 103 wins on the year, best team in the National League, won it going away in the NL West. And boy, it just goes to show you in any 5-game series that anybody can win. And the Nats not only win their wild card game, but then get in and beat the L.A. Dodgers in Dodger Stadium at Chavez Ravine on a grand slam by Howie Kendrick.
Yeah, no, that's why they play the games. And that's why baseball's great. Anybody can beat anybody.
Well, speaking of Major League Baseball team, who do you follow and one of your favorite teams?
I'm going for the Astros to win it all right now. That's who I'd like to see do it.
Well, they looked really impressive last night. I mean, you know, defensively, the play that Correa made in I want to say it was the third or fourth inning. Of course, Altuve, you know, he's all as a smaller guy, you can relate. But I mean, Altuve's about 5'6", 5'7" at the most, and boy, his bat speed, and he can turn around a fastball as well as anybody, and he's such a key cog in the Astros role. And of course, Alex Bregman having a MVP caliber year.
Yeah, and then you add in Verlander and Garrett Cole to that. They're pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, how about having Garrett Cole and
Greinke is your three?
And not only that, but the guy that pitched for the Tampa Bay Rays last night. Having those guys in the same rotation in college. You know. Well, it's been a very special day already today in the history of Bipsy Cavalier baseball as well as softball. Earlier today, just a little while ago, Bipsy broke ground on a new locker room facility for both baseball and softball. And Bobby, I know you're intimately involved in this, obviously, but as we're seeing some video, how big a deal is this for your baseball program?
It legitimizes what we're doing here on the whole campus. The campus is great. We play great baseball. We've got great players. It gives us more of a foundation and a home, and it really gives us a building block to keep growing this program.
Tell us exactly what the project is as far as kind of the layout design, and then also, if you would, about how long it's been in the planning process.
I think the planning process, if you really want to talk, it goes back from the first day that I got this job. That was the initial thing is, we needed to get the better hitting facilities, and we got a press box along the way, but getting a locker room for these players, for these guys, that was one of my main goals. It's going to be a big one building, over 2,000 square feet, that softball have one side and baseball have one side, and there'll be a soundproof wall in the middle so we can't hear each other, I think, and it'll change both of our programs, both these players to have a home down there.
Well, and when you're competing in Region 14 against the Texas schools, the resources that they have and the facilities they have, you're always kind of playing a facility war, or arms race, if you will, against those schools. And, this gives you and both Coach Amanda Nordberg a step up.
Yeah. I mean, we know everybody they do it bigger in Texas, and we're trying to. I think we're competing with them on the field in all the sports. Every program's done a good job, and this is just going to help us in recruiting. Like I said, we bring anybody on this campus, and they go, hey, look at this great campus, and now we get to show that, hey, great things are going down there with baseball and softball too, facility-wise also.
Well, can you maybe go into a little more detail though about I don't want to say the size and scope, but if how many lockers and exactly, to try to paint a picture for our viewers.
I mean, it's going to be close to 50 lockers for baseball. We have about 48 guys out there right now, so that'll work out well. On softball side, I think they'll have 30 lockers, somewhere around there, and she's got about 25 players right now. So it should work out where every player has their own locker and got their own space. And I think the next mission that we're trying to create is we got something for the players. Next goal is try to get coaches' offices down there for baseball or softball where we have one functioning facility in our own space down there.
Well, with that frame of mind, take us, if you will, take our viewers so that they understand. I'm a Bipsy baseball player, okay? Take us through where your players have to dress and prepare for not only practice but for games right now prior to this facility being built.
Well, we have the big athletic facility where the basketball gym is, and both girls and boys basketball locker rooms are, and we've got 50 people on our team. It's hard to find a space for 50 people in a classroom or inside the athletic facility. So, right now those guys are kind of getting dressed where they need to inside the gym, and we're making it work. And nobody complains. We're here to play baseball and get an education, but this is just this is a luxury that we get to have now. It'll change what we do.
Well, I know when I was coaching baseball at Byrd, that was always a real tough spot for us because our young men would have to travel from the high school out to the baseball field at LSUS, have to get dressed at their cars,
right,
and in time to be out for practice. And it certainly wasn't ideal, and there was no intimate place for you to have team meetings or a players-only meeting or to even have a one-on-one with a player, whatever. There was no place that you called home,
right,
other than the field itself.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for us to enhance our culture and to create some of those things that you're saying. And there's so many doubleheaders in junior college baseball. We're out there every Saturday playing a doubleheader, and it's just in between games to be able to go in the locker room and have food in there, regroup, maybe change jerseys, come out, fresh look, new game. It's, everybody's excited, coaches, players, and we're just looking forward to it.
This project is more than just a locker room for you. I mean, it's deeply personal. And can you tell us why it's so personal?
Well, I think it gives, I was fortunate to be able to play Division I baseball and then get a chance to play some professional baseball. It gives these players the experience they should have playing this level of college baseball. That locker room is kind of a sanctuary and a sacred place for players, and we're trying to give these players the best experience they can, and this is just a needed thing to give them this. So for just us to help build this program, and we've got Division I schools coming to watch us play all the time now, and now these players get treated a little bit more like what it'll be like when they get to that level.
Well, and you say us, and I know your dad, Bobby Gillum Sr., is not a big spotlight guy, much like you. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But it is deeply personal in that relationship and that his part in all this. Can you talk about that a little bit?
He was obviously very helpful and gung-ho in getting this going and helping to raise money and get people interested in the project. And he the same way he wanted to just help the program and give to these kids on baseball and softball side. So it's just one of those things. It's a great thing for everybody.
Well, he mentioned at the groundbreaking ceremony how much athletics has played a part in his life and what it's done for him to be able to. And you obviously can relate, having played at Loyola and Centenary and in professional baseball as well. So it is. He mentioned just those things, and this is his contribution and kind of one of the ways that he can enhance our athletic program and provide opportunities for not only your players but Amanda's players as well.
Right, and sports and that's what we tell these guys all the time. Hey, help baseball get your education. Help baseball teach you lessons and help get you through life. And for him, sports are a big part and helped him get his education and it teaches you lessons all the time in every sport. So I think that's kind of where we were with that.
Well, over the last few years, you've made other improvements to the baseball facilities. We talked about you mentioned the press box, but the halo, the round home plate around the batter's circle. Last year, brand new aluminum outfield fence, fresh coat of paint on the dugouts and surrounding areas. Is that all part of what you're trying to do is to keep up in that arms race?
Yeah, and I mean the next thing we have is we have a guy coming out next week talking about lasering our field and trying to get it level, and we're trying to make the play and service as good as we can. And when people walk out there, they know that we care about what's going on.
Well, and that was kind of leading me into my next question. It was, are there any other future plans for improvements in the works to the baseball facilities? You mentioned, trying to get possibly coaches' offices added on, but are there any other improvements?
Well, they were trying to do. It's a technology called turf planing, and there's only one machine in the state of Louisiana that does it. And we're trying to get him up here in the next couple of weeks and give us some prices and see what we can work out to get baseball and softball done. And it's one of those things that you might not see it from a distance, but when you walk out there, if we can make it like a golf course, that's what we're trying to get at.
Well, and take it. I know firsthand how much time coaches spend on lawnmowers and weed eaters and fertilizing and aerating fields. Field work is you spend a lot of man hours doing that.
You might not get the glory, but that's part of getting it done. It's part of the baseball job.
Well, we're going to take a brief time out, a break for right now, but stay tuned following the break because we'll have more with Bipsy baseball head coach Bobby Gillum. We'll be right back.
I am protecting life on our planet.
Day by day, with every single thing I do,
I conserve the world's biggest forests.
I safeguard the rivers
and oceans.
I stand up for coral reefs,
rainforests,
tundras,
deserts,
and grasslands.
I work with communities in the Amazon,
the Arctic,
the Congo,
and the Himalayas.
I collaborate with the biggest companies on Earth
to make their processes and their products more sustainable.
I influence governments
to create policy that recognizes and respects
the importance of nature.
I give a voice to all animals who call Earth their home.
I'm protecting life on our planet.
But because I'm with WWF,
I am not doing it alone.
6,000 staff.
6 million members.
In over 100 countries.
For more than half a century.
Businesses.
Foundations.
Governments.
Communities.
Individuals.
And one iconic panda.
Together,
we are protecting life on our planet.
Including our own.
Because together,
anything is possible.
Welcome back to Cavletics. Today we're talking with Bipsy baseball head coach Bobby Gillum, and before the break we were talking about all the outstanding improvements to the facilities at the Bipsy baseball field. Well, Bobby, now let's turn our attention to where you like to, and that's the action and the guys on the field. Last fall, you had over 50 players out for baseball, which was a huge number. How many do you have out this fall, and why the difference?
We're just under 50. We're pretty close. We start every year with 25 pitchers, so those guys got to go out there and battle it out, and that's just part of it. And we scrimmage a lot and play a lot, so you need a lot of arms and give guys chances. But we got about the same number, but a little bit smaller. As we build the structure of the program, I think we can cut it down a little bit, where we know who everybody is before they get here a little bit better as our recruiting continues to grow. But the fall is, it's for competition and building the team.
Well, and we were talking during the break about the future of Region 14, about possibly having Tyler Junior College and Coastal Bend, who now play at the Division II level, if I remember, move back in and play at the Division I in Region 14, which would make it 36 conference games, which is just a grind. It already is a grind with 30, but 36 conference baseball games. So you have to have that many guys, especially pitchers, because you can never have enough pitching. Am I right?
Yeah, and I mean, we're playing 3-game sets every weekend, and you got 3 starters, and you need 3 guys each game for the bullpen. So you're talking 12. I mean, last year we had 16 people get innings for us. A guy gets hurt, arm injury here or there, and all of a sudden you're going into your depths. I mean, you got to bring in 20 guys pitching at least.
Yeah, I mean, I know, both of us have been involved in minor league baseball, and they usually carry around 13 pitchers on a roster, a 23-man roster.
Right.
A couple of weeks ago, you had 5 players: Bobby Lotta, shortstop; Dylan Collins, a left-handed pitcher; Adrian Minjares, who's a catcher, DH; and Jose Cabrera Jr., as well, who's a pitcher, and as well as third baseman Will Doty, participate in the Texas-New Mexico Junior College All-Star Game. What does it say about the status of Bipsy baseball and the program to have 5 guys play in an event like this, and not just 5 guys, but 5 guys who, from what I understand, play pretty well?
Yeah, they definitely put on a good representation of Bipsy. They're all 5 legitimate good players. It's the first time that I've been here that we had a foundation of good players that returned the next season. And it's made things so different out there this year, just having those guys. But all those guys are legitimate guys. They're going to be recruited, and they're going to sign scholarships somewhere next year, and some teams are going to be very glad they got them.
Well, that is a pretty good quintet of players to have returning from last year's team, which had the first winning season in over a decade and made the Region 14 tournament for only the second time in school history. Those 5 guys are guys that you definitely are going to count on and build upon with this year's ball club.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Lotto's gotten bigger and stronger. You can tell out there. He's as good a shortstop as you can ask for, and he's getting a lot of Division I attention right now. And of course, Adrian Minojares hit over 400 last year, and Will Doty has come back bigger and stronger. He's just a tough, mature player that he's easy to coach. And then you got Dylan Collins and Jose Cabrera. They were both at the top of our rotation last year, and Jose's getting himself going. Dylan looks really, really good right now, and he's getting himself a lot of attention. And
we'll talk about that a little bit. Tell us about some of that attention that he's receiving.
He's taking a visit next week to Lamar, to Nichols next week. He's going to have he's kind of got his pick right now of a lot of Southland schools of where he wants to go. Bobby Lotto's been contacted by an SEC school, by Wichita State. Nebraska's came to watch him. He's kind of, he's ranked number 29 in the junior college, any junior college prospect in the South right now. So he's getting a lot of attention, and he's got a chance to get drafted this year. You can see why that. And Doty will find he's starting to get. They're all getting attention, and it's fun to see it because they deserve it. And I think we've got freshmen now behind them that people are already asking, "Hey, who's this guy? Where'd you get him from?" And but those guys kind of led the foundation for us to start getting back on the map here.
You brought in a new pitching coach in Andrew Mercer. Tell us what Andrew brings to the table and to the program, and not a bad situation to walk into when you got two quality arms like Dylan Collins and Jose Cabrera Jr. At the top of your rotation.
Yeah, and we got another one with Zach St. Pierre, who's been up to 93, 94 miles an hour, who'll be on our rotation too. He's got first-class stuff. Andrew has been great. He is from Canada, and he came down here and played junior college baseball and then won a Division II national championship at Southern Indiana. He's coming here with a good plan, with a throwing program, weightlifting program. He's got those guys giving themselves an opportunity to get better every day. That was the search this year. Is I knew we needed to upgrade and evolve in our pitching program, and he was exactly what I was looking for. And I think he's a young coach who's got a lot of enthusiasm, and I think he's only going to get better and better. And he's brought a lot of value to us recruiting up in Canada, and we might get some more players from the great north,
from north of the border.
Yeah. So, and they got a lot of good players up there. So he's been a great addition, and like I said, I think he's only going to keep getting better here and keep helping the program.
Well, you and I have been around the game a long time, and we know that at any level of baseball, good pitching is going to be good hitting 9 times out of 10, with Dylan Collins and Jose Cabrera, as we mentioned, returning, giving you a lot of confidence heading into the spring.
Yeah, no, we've done that, and I think this year we'll have a bullpen, and we'll have Daniel Schaefer's come on, and he's a freshman. He's looked great at the back of the bullpen. Get Jacob Gilcrease, who pitched for us last year, and he'll be a good middle reliever. And Justin Lawson at the back of the bullpen. We've got a lot of freshman arms that are going to get a good innings this year, and I think they're going to contribute next year, and hopefully they're ready to fill some of the shoes of the sophomores that leave the following year.
Well, and you have Minojares behind the plate. I mean, he caught a bit last year, also DH'd. How, obviously he can hit over 400 last year, but, how is his progression with being behind the plate, calling pitches, being the captain of the defense?
He's got a good idea what we're doing. We're trying to do pitching. We've got a completely new pitch calling system and how we're getting signs in how the zones we're working, and that comes from Coach Mercer. But Minojares has a good feel of what we're doing there. We've got another catcher who's done really well for us is Jacob Mayo, who's from Monroe and played at ULM his freshman year. He's come in. I mean, you've got to have multiple catchers. So those guys have done a good job. And we got Jared Harris as a freshman from Houston, and he's kind of round out the catching staff. But we got 3 guys that are doing the job right now. And of course, yeah, like you said, we know Minna Hart's going to hit the baseball.
Well, and then you got the left side of your infield pretty much nailed down. You'll have to figure out some things on the right side, and of course the outfield. But got a really good nucleus of players coming back.
Well, we do. We like you said, we have Doty and we have Lotta at the shortstop, and we were really fortunate to get Dylan Watts to play second base for us, and he started 29 games at Kansas State. As a freshman, he started games at second base, at third base, outfield, DH. He's just great. I enjoy being around the kid every day. The kid loves to play baseball. He's as veteran as you can get at this level. We're just fortunate to have him.
Well, the Bipsy Cavalier baseball team is leaving tomorrow to head to Magnolia, Arkansas to play Hill College as well as Southern Arkansas. Next weekend, the Cavaliers will travel down the area I'm familiar with, Thibodaux, and Nicholls State University for a couple of games at Ray Didier Field, a place that is near and dear to me, as I was a baseball SID during my college days down in Colonel Country. And if you're wanting to catch the Cavaliers in action, you can do so on October 26th at LSU Shreveport when the Cavs take on the Pilots over at Pilot Field. That's all the time we have for today. Unfortunately, I could talk baseball for all day until the cows came home. But Bobby, thanks for being here with us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks. I enjoyed it.
And folks, thank you for taking the time to visit with us today and stop by and catch Cavalier Athletics, or Cavletics as we like to call it. And we wish you the best and have a good sports day. I'm Charlie Cavell, signing off.